Hi, I'm Anna.
And I'm Ben.
And we are AutoSave. Welcome to our channel.
Today, we are fans of a music genre known as metal, thanks to last episode, episode 20. This episode is 21. Last episode, we got new intro.
Yes.
We touched upon that a bunch in the discussion, so I won't drag on about it here, other than saying that it was a fever dream. We saw Elle eating candy, and I liked it a lot. We also were left with this situation that I'm not 100% clear on. We seemed to have a split where Elle was going to be working separately from the group, which led to his interaction with Misa, and then that dragged Light back into it because they're handcuffed, so then it seemed like a team of three then going forward. But then we had Chief Yagami was like, anybody have any ideas? Which makes me question if it's going to be three of them investigating or the whole team's back together under a new, like, I guess, ideology or like method going forward.
I think his comment there was purely comedic because he was also watching what we were seeing with the interaction of Light and Elle in Misa's apartment, and I think Chief Yagami kind of realized that Light had been roped against his will into sticking with Elle's idea and plan. And unfortunately, Light and Elle are the big brains. They're the ones that are able to deduce the fastest. They're they're more than one step ahead, actually, of like everyone. And I think that the other members of the investigation team realize that. And so it's just kind of best to stick with wherever Light and Elle are.
Agreed. I'm excited to get into the episode. I did have one thing that I wrote down on my notebook. I thought it was a really good opportunity or business venture, potentially. So, the voice actor for Elle, I am unsure of who he is, or what his name is, or financial position in life. That being said, if that man becomes a VTuber, takes on the visual persona of Elle, and then starts a mukbang channel, he will do terrific. I love watching Elle eat food, and I'm sure you guys do too. And just putting that out into the world, because if it hasn't happened, it should.
It should.
Other than that, I would too. Like
yeah.
It's my favorite part about the show. I'm ready to get into it. You?
Yes.
Sweet. This sounds like a song that would be used in WWE as like an intro.
We just received a new report from Coyle. He says that Misa Amani might know Elle. I've been able to deduce that Amani worships Kira. At the moment, Yoshida Productions is...
He's so sus.
It doesn't make sense for him to leave all the hard work to us, in my opinion.
Why don't we contact Coyle and see what he has to say?
That's a good idea.
Why are we focused on this man?
Yes, I understand.
This is all according to plan.
An even better idea.
Have to come home to punish criminals. Being Kira's
It's him.
It's him.
more interesting lately. It's pretty clear that Misa
Hello.
Amani was the second Kira. I'm going to make Misa Amani my wife.
What?
Sir?
Marry such a disgusting...
True. Misa's precious. Rem would not let this happen.
Hide the notebook in the usual place.
So this guy doesn't think he's a pawn at all.
No.
He thinks that he's like the boss.
So does he think that he can seduce Misa himself without the Death Note kind of thing?
Maybe through...
She took a piece of the Death Note. Rem just ripped off a piece of the Death Note.
Misa, please stop overacting. It looks too cheesy, not to mention fake.
Huh? But I thought...
Is she gonna have Misa touch it?
Misa!
what is it, Mochi?
Today you have an interview with the Yotsuba group to see if they'll use it in their new ad campaign.
I already know about that. And of course, that means you can't let your cover fall either. Character of the hyper-energetic manager, okay?
Right, bring it on!
Yep, she did need a new manager.
I'm Misa's manager, Kenichi Moji, also known as Mochi.
Mr. Oi, Mr. Shimura, it's so nice to see you again. Way to go, Mochi. You're a natural.
Celebrate when they decide to hire you!
Whew. Okay, we're in.
I don't think I'm cut out for this.
I don't
did a
know,
great
man.
job.
You're pretty convincing.
Well, this might seem a little bit sudden, but I'd like to be honest with you. We've been doing a little background check on you. Isn't it true that you came to Tokyo in hopes of finding and meeting Kira?
Who did you hear that from?
I'm afraid I can't answer that.
Iber's good, dude.
Coil, I never thought you investigated that far.
You're still hiding something from us, aren't you?
Oh, this is also for them to trust him more and be
Yeah.
impressed.
Here's where I pause and look nervous.
You were detained by the Detective L for a short period of time. We'd like you to tell us the full story of what really happened.
I understand. I'll tell you everything. Yes, I was held for questioning. I didn't think it was L, but he did ask me lots of questions about Kira. I was blindfolded the whole time.
But if he asked you questions, surely you heard his voice, right?
Only through a speaker and voice filter, so...
How long are we gonna keep this up? I'm going to the bathroom. He has a point. It seems the interview veered a little off track.
Excuse me, but would you mind if I went to the bathroom as well? I just have to keep it up.
By this scrap of paper alone will not restore her memories of the Death Note.
What does?
But at least now Misa can see me once again. Misa, you're in a dangerous situation right now. Calm down and listen to me.
Oh my god, Rem cares for Misa so much.
Please believe me, I'm your ally.
My ally?
Is Misa going to tell that she saw this thing to Light and L?
He's punishing people who never intended to kill. The original Kira would have never punished those kinds of people. That's the sort of distinction I'd make if I were him.
All of these if I were him.
It's disturbingly close to my ideals.
Oh, shit.
Uh-huh. I wonder why.
I'm not Kira. Something's got to be wrong
Are
with
they
me
just
if I'm
gonna-
seriously comparing myself to that murderer.
Are memories just gonna return to him because he's thinking that way?
No.
Tell me, what is Light doing at the moment?
You know me, and Light is Kira?
Light Yagami took it upon himself to punish criminals using that notebook. He soon became known to the world as Kira.
I didn't expect this to happen. I thought she'd either get her memories back or she doesn't.
You managed to find Light by using your power to determine that he was in fact Kira.
Then Ryuzaki was right.
Misa, do you still love Light enough to die for him?
You've got to be telling the truth. You already know everything about me. And yes, I do love him to death.
You haven't changed, Misa. And it seems your feelings for Light will never change either. The only way you can be truly happy in life is if you can support him in his plan. The current Kira is a vile and pathetic human being.
Get fucking
I know what
roasted,
he's
bro.
capable of. Trust Light. Let him do whatever he feels necessary.
Whew. I'm
This
worried.
is pretty awesome, though.
Yeah, I'm worried that Kira 3 heard some of that or something, because he was in the bathroom too, no?
I was worried that he was gonna do some shady stuff to Misa.
I was just fixing up my makeup a little.
When you return, I will be in the room. The man sitting in front of me will be Kira.
That's fucking important fucking information, bro. Is she gonna... okay, she goes back to Light, explains the situation with the Shinigami, gives him the information that Higuchi is Kira, and then they're one step ahead of the game already again.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Would you believe 3 out of 7 guys already messaged me asking for a private date?
What?
Did you see Chief Yagami in the background?
The plan's getting canceled right now.
Huh?
If we go any further, you'll be in danger.
If that's what you want, Light, then that's what I'll do.
He notices a change in behavior.
Do you think so?
I feel like she would have put up more of a stink about it normally.
You're so right.
But I've thought of the best plan ever. I'm gonna be useful to you. I promise.
She's gonna do something without telling him.
Wanna come sleep with me tonight?
What are you talking about?
We're saving it for after we catch Kira, right? You don't have to be shy about it.
Yes, Light. There's no need to be.
Can you take me to the restroom in that hospital?
No problem. I'll be waiting.
What?
Yes? Nori, you look so cute in that nurse's outfit.
Oh.
That went well.
Oh my god, what are you gonna do?
I like it, by the way. Look at that nurse's outfit, Misa.
I'm glad you like it.
That took a while. Where's Misa?
She's on a date.
I was gonna say, it doesn't even look like Misa. On a date with the one that probably is like creepy, perverted. I'm not excited to see
she
if
knows
anything
that
weird
it's
I know.
Kira.
I know, but what if he like does some like really gross stuff?
The sleazy pervert who's been sending me text messages ever since that party. He's been even more persistent than any of the other guy.
I think Rem is watching over it though, right?
Are you planning to take me somewhere and do pervy things to me? Even if you are, that's okay. I'll be fine since I can kill people.
What are you saying, Misa? Is this part of Light Yagami's plan?
This is
No,
part
this
of
is
her
a
plan.
Misa plan.
You can kill people?
Yup, it's true. And you know why? Because I'm the second Kira.
Holy shit, Misa.
What the hell's going on? Misa.
I don't know what's happening. What
I
is her
love
plan?
this. I love this.
Anyway, I'll only prove that I'm the second Kira to the real Kira.
You'll only show proof to Kira. Why?
Because it's always been my dream to become
Kira's wife.
I know he'll need me by his side once I tell
Oh
him.
my god.
Well, since I happen to be Kira, does that mean you'll marry me?
Little sweat droplets on his face.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Then prove it to me. Come on, let's prove it to each other.
I can't do that. Then why don't you kill someone? After all, I could be the real Kira. This is Ginzo Kaneboshi.
Are you just gonna count on Rem doing it for you?
I guess.
Honey, how about him?
Would you be able to confirm his death right away?
Yeah, as soon as I call him.
Okay then.
Misa, you want me to kill Ginzo Kaneboshi, don't you? Then Higuchi will believe your claim about being the second Kira.
All right, he should be dead by now.
Is he just like,
Yes!
is
But
he
this
just
is bad.
like
She killed
not
someone.
realizing he can see Rem? He's like,
Told ya.
She killed him. Would have been impossible to do that unless she had the power. This proves it. So, if I'm Kira, you'll marry me, right?
Hey, why are you getting so serious all of a sudden?
I'm not gonna be able to kill until I get home. You understand?
Oh, well, that's no good then. For all I know, you're just making all this up so you have an excuse to take me to your place. Why don't you stop killing the criminals on TV? That should prove it. If you're Kira, it should be no problem. After all, killing criminals in that way is something that only Kira can do.
I see what you mean.
Does she
That's a
have
good
like a
idea.
mic or something? Like recording
a
device?
mic, a phone,
I'm Kira, so in order to make you
phone call with light.
that I'm him, I'll stop killing criminals for the time being. Then once you're fully convinced I'm the real thing.
Look at El's face!
Based on what he said, Higuchi is Kira.
Okay, that was episode 21 of Death Note. Holy shit, Misa. Oh my god.
That
Dots?
was okay. I feel like we need to unpack if it was like actually a good plan or not. Like it was a good plan, yes, to in regards to figuring out who is actually Kira and getting proof for the regular folk without bringing up that Misa has reconnected with Rem. But the issue is it's really out of character to some extent, obviously, to have Elle reacting suspiciously kind of both times he's seen Misa since her interaction with Rem. Because it is changing her behavior slightly. I mean, it is pretty subtle. They've obviously animated it and plot-wise made it subtle. So, yeah, it's a good plan, but the issue is that it makes Elle kind of wonder if Misa has become the second Kira again.
Definitely. But she hasn't.
She hasn't. She doesn't have the ability to kill. The thing that Elle doesn't know is that there is a Shinigami that loves Misa. I mean...
And he's been tapped with light this whole time, so light obviously didn't do anything.
Yeah. I mean, it does bring more questions. Dang.
Okay.
It's nice that I was surprised how quickly it took Misa to kind of accept back Rem. I thought maybe you got your memories back, but I guess we have learned that you do not get your memories directly back.
Unless
you become proper owner of the Death Note?
I believe so.
Okay, that would make sense.
Because Light didn't give up Light didn't give his ownership to somebody else of the previous Death Note.
No, he just relinquished it, and I guess
he said get rid of it, basically.
Ryuk is hiding it somewhere.
Yeah, and is wanting him to give it back to him
at some point.
Whenever
that is.
Misa's awesome. She's smart, and
I mean, this was a good plan she came up with. She got him to literally admit it on and to have a plan in the future to have evidence against them, that he was going to kill people in a different way, maybe making it easier for the investigation team to catch him.
The only reason it couldn't be considered smart is the whole reasoning that you had explained.
That's like
Elle is a fucking super genius who has already predicted that this could happen. You know what I mean?
That's literally the only hang up, honestly, with it. Because Rem's right there. Rem is there to protect Misa if this guy, Higuchi, did any funny business, risked Misa's life in any way,
then
Rem would literally kill him. Ryuk said before that he could kill Light, right?
Yeah.
And there's no, issue with that. They don't get in trouble for killing.
Not that we know.
No, I don't think so. So, yeah, Rem could literally kill Higuchi at any moment that Misa needed it. I can't believe the literal... So, it came out of, nowhere that Higuchi was like, I want Misa to be my wife. But then we learned from Misa...
He's been texting her since the meetup.
And we didn't, obviously we get the visual that at the party, he's the one that had his arm around Misa the whole time, which I'm sure if we went back to that episode, that would be the case in that episode.
I love the fact that this idiot, can see Rem. She is in the back seat of his car.
Yeah. What? You can probably hear the little scratch. Question. The other person in the Yotsuba group that had the suspicious reaction to long-haired guy's phone call. What does that make that person?
I don't know. There's no way that there's two Kiras in the group and he has Ryuk, right?
At this point, I'm wondering if that person's suspicious that long-haired person is Kira.
Maybe. Question, did Light... Is part of Light's plan what happened? Did Light plan for Rem to break, I guess, character in a bit and take a piece of the Death Note and show it to Misa at some point?
I don't think so. I think this was fully Rem's actions to save Misa from horrible... Because Rem's first and top priority is Misa's happiness.
For sure.
And Rem even said, this needs to go well for you and you need to be safe in order for you to be able to be best useful and be around Light. And so...
Obviously, Misa, Light never told anything of, this potentially happening to Rem, but I'm suggesting maybe Light just knew it was going to happen, inevitably.
Maybe. I was worried that if Rem didn't tell Misa here, what could happen to Misa, because obviously this is a high-up, really rich man who seemed to be kind of sleazy, perverted, not a good guy. Rem didn't like him. I was worried that he would do something shady to get Misa to be his wife and then basically have her, captive in a way. Her life could have ended up in a way, forced to marry him, basically.
Yeah.
And that could have been, obviously, really bad for Misa. and I don't know how. I was worried that when he went to the bathroom and she also went, that he was going to like corner her
Me
and
too.
some really bad stuff was going to happen that I was not going to want to see. And like, thank God that didn't happen.
For real.
But like, why did he go to the...
I think it just happened.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It seemed so like specific that he got up during the meeting at that point and was like, is this even a job interview? It sounds more like an interrogation.
What I keep having to tell myself is he's stupid compared to Light, Elle, and Misa. They're really smart. And I'm expecting, since a character did one thing, they have all this like motive behind it that they're not sharing. But in reality, I think it's just that we're used to that because our main characters are crazy intelligent.
I don't know why I thought that Rem gave it to someone who was like easy to manipulate.
Kind of is.
I think I was under the impression that it was given to someone who was kind of cowardly or weak-willed or someone that would be intimidated by Rem into doing this. But it seems like they picked someone who thinks they're the shit.
Yeah.
And thinks that, oh, of course I deserve to have this power and I'm the boss because I'm a cool man, you know? So it seems like he really does think that Rem is almost like a servant to him.
Even though that Rem gave him the conditions and he's still doing it, though.
Yeah.
You know? Like, he's not doing it to the ability that he should be, though. That's a pertinent piece of information that we learned this episode that Light did not share with anybody. His discovery that this Kira must be different than the original Kira because this Kira is killing people who have seemingly apologized or had some redemption for their actions.
Why didn't Light say it? It's because
he still thinks he's Kira.
Getting closer to thinking that, and so he doesn't want to share that information.
That speaks louder than anything. If he and his like true nature and true philosophy of himself, right? If he was genuinely a good person without knowledge ever of the without being given the death note, he would share this information with Elle.
Yeah.
But I think he's not because a piece of him is looking out for himself, even if he knows just in case. Like, what if instead
he's holding his cards tight?
What if instead he was like, Elle, I had this thought. I feel like I was Kira, but I don't have any knowledge of it, and I want to be better now. I don't ever want to go back to that way.
What would happen then?
Yeah.
I don't know, because you can't lock someone up for saying they think they might have done something. So I don't know what Elle's move after that would have been. Probably just the same situation we're in now.
I know.
They're handcuffed. Like, how much closer and how much more of a watchful eye can you have?
So where does the situation leave us? We have... we have evidence that Higuchi is Kira. We know that Light or L's a little like weirded out by it, but obviously he's going to have to move forward with it in some respect. Where does this put Misa and Light? Misa obviously has a plan here, you know? Is Misa planning on telling Light this stuff or trying to get him to regain his memories? How will that happen?
I'm trying to figure out if Misa is going to work Light into this plan at all, or is Misa just going to try to basically prove that Higuchi is Kira and get her death note back, you know?
How do you think Light would respond to being told the information and not instantly remembering?
That's what I'm wondering. If Misa could prove it to Light that Misa was the second Kira, I think that Light would then have a better chance of actually fully being on board in his own mind that he was probably Kira.
You want to know what you got to do? You got to convince Elle that he was Kira. You got to gaslight Elle into thinking that he was Kira, gave up the death note, and doesn't have memory of it anymore.
How? How do you get that character to think that? That just sounds impossible.
That's what you got to do. I don't know how you do it, but
I get you. I mean, like, that's what you got to do to get out of it, to like stir the pot.
Man.
Okay, well, I guess we'll see how Misa's plan works in the next coming episodes. We'll see if Higuchi makes any really horribly gross moves on Misa that then force Rem to kill him.
I don't think they're even gonna like meet up again, right? Well, okay. Well, what's our team's next step?
That's really a good point that you just made. Like,
there's evidence.
Are they gonna get the evidence and immediately call it into the police as a tip? But didn't the police not want to investigate Kira anymore? What do? Do you broadcast it somehow so the police have to act?
Who is gonna be on L's side if he's like, but wait, don't do anything yet? I guarantee you Chief Yagami's gonna have something to say about that if L is like, no, we shouldn't arrest him yet.
I don't know if L would do that with a literal, like,
confession.
Phone call confession plus the evidence that he fulfilled what was in the conversation on the phone call. I think the only issue that L would have is that it might put him further away from figuring out why Misa started acting different.
I mean, to anybody else, Misa played the situation to such a perfect degree. Not only did you get a confession out of Kira, but you also got him to stop killing for the time being. Right?
Yep, except for the people that you say.
Mm-hmm.
And that's going to be concrete evidence.
Or the company, I assume, but...
Oh, true. What's Kira going to do with the company?
I don't even know if we're going to like have that time, because that implies that there's going to be time that a killing would happen. But last episode, Light convinced
long-haired guy
Namikawa,
to put off the killings anyway.
Yeah, so
Ooh.
Like
it kind of
this
all
seems
works
like
out
the perfect situation. So
Misa didn't know that, right?
I would think that she'd have the information. I don't think we saw her get the information, but why wouldn't she?
I thought they were not giving her, because she's still technically right now a civilian. I didn't think that she was involved in any of the actual information they had, except for what they were telling her, like, oh, it's someone in Yotsuba. I don't know if they would have told her about that phone call.
Yeah, that's true. I'm not sure though. Like, what I want to know what happens, of course, next. Like, I want to watch the next episode right now. But like, from a speculation standpoint, I'm not like, it could really go anywhere. It really could. Like, this is like a defining moment in the future of the show. I feel like which direction does L take it? Which direction does Misa take it? How does Light find out? How does Light regain his memory?
I think that's my biggest question right now, is how, and like, is Misa going to have some kind of influence on him regaining it? Like, was it the plan all along? I think you even said, was it the plan all along for Misa to be the one that got it back first?
Yeah.
Was that the plan? We don't know. Because obviously it seems like Rem was purely just acting out of protecting Misa in this instance, and it wasn't a part of a greater plan, other than a part of the greater plan of keeping the goals going of Light Yagami as Kira.
I really, really didn't expect I didn't entertain the possibility of Misa getting the Death Note, or getting the information of the Death Note back without getting the Death Note back. It was either one or the other. She never remembers it, or she remembers it completely and gets the Death Note back, you know?
Yeah, I didn't see it happening like this either. And of course, Rem knows like everything about Misa, even the way Misa thinks.
Yeah. I liked how Misa was like, oh, you told me I'd die for Light? You know me.
You know me so well.
I love it.
Interesting. I can't wait to see if how this goes, how the evidence is gathered. Is Higuchi going to do exactly in what he promised in that conversation, or is something going to derail that from happening?
Good question.
L is suspicious of Misa right now. What is that going to mean for the future? Either it didn't look like everyone else looked purely just like happy surprised over her phone call that she got, well, her recording she got. But so L was the only one that looked like had different emotion on his face.
Mm-hmm.
Highlight of the episode, Chief Yagami's face when Misa sat on Light's lap.
No, it was like when
She said
she was saying
something,
about the dates, like about
Oh yeah.
that was so good. Oh my god, that was so funny. I need to like zoom in on that.
He even had like a hair out of place. Like he was just like, it looks like he's still toiling over documents, trying to do an opposite plan from Elle, possibly in the corner. Probably maybe to no avail, but yeah, I guess we'll see if Misa's plan works.
All right, that's all I have you. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and we hope to see you next time.